I mentioned this before. When you call the jail, like at 9:30, say, hey, I need to see so-and-so at 10 o'clock. I always forget between 9:30 and 10, something comes up, there's a disturbance, somebody drops their lunch, I don't know. The only way to do it is call like 2 minutes ahead of time. Say, I need them now. And they're certainly helpful. And even if they are irked, it's a lot better than in the old days. They'd have to get them ready, put them in a car, drive them up here, bring them back into lockup. So the new officers don't have any recollection of the old days when we had to bring everybody up here in person. But we're going to try to talk to Dominique Rosman. He has been in custody.
I remember I'm trying to think what county it was, but they would bring all the in custodies into the courtroom and have them all sit in the jury box. And so you come in and you see like 12 people sitting in like orange jump sheets.
Well, the different counties do it differently, but that lockup is not good under any measure. And so it's certainly much safer for the inmates and for us, but I've done arraignments in several different counties and they do them different ways. And again, the advent of the Polycom screen and then Zoom has really changed things. Good morning. Are you Dominique Sierra Rosman?
Yes.
I'm Judge Middleton. I'm here at the courthouse. Your lawyer, Mr. Paul Gibson, is here with me. Also, Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Joshua Robert, and your grandfather is here. He wanted to be here to support you and watch this. So he's been having quite a legal education this morning, watching a number of other cases, but he's here because he's concerned about you. You're charged with possession of methamphetamine and possession of a controlled substance, fentanyl, which is called a recipe for disaster. It's alleged to have occurred on May 10th. They filed the complaint on July 23rd, and you got arrested on August 29th. Although, yeah, I guess that's 12 days. Possession of methamphetamine is a felony. It's punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $15,000. Possession of fentanyl, which is much more dangerous, is punishable by up to 4 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $25,000. And in the last few years, we have seen people that are using both methamphetamine for one effect and fentanyl for another. Both are very debilitating. Mr. Robert, the Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, said they would dismiss both of these charges for a plea to use of methamphetamine. Is that correct, Mr. Robert?
That's correct.
You agree, Mr. Gibson?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. And once upon a time, used to require the suspension of your license. It no longer does that. Do you understand if you plead to this misdemeanor charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Are you going to plead to that misdemeanor charge of use of methamphetamine?
Yes.
All right. Anybody threaten you to get you to do that?
No, I'm just a little confused.
All right. Well, tell me about that.
I've been working on my recovery for a while now, and I thought I was doing the right thing by giving what I had to the police officer, considering I found it out of chance, and out of chance, I was presented with an opportunity to get rid of it because I don't actually, it's not about the drugs for me. And I don't feel like I deserve to be in here, but I'm trying to take it because I know that I did wrong and I shouldn't have possessed it in the first place. And I just don't want to be in here. So I just
Well,
I'm
that's
nervous.
pretty
I'm
universal.
nervous.
All right. Let me
Okay.
just say I'm skeptical. You picked up a bag by Mr. B's Dairy Bar with 2 grams of methamphetamine and 2 grams of fentanyl. And
Yeah.
you carried it around with you all the way to Engle Road and Fairchild Road.
Yep.
And I don't believe you were just doing a good citizen deed by picking up this bag of drugs and carrying it 14 miles to another location.
I agree.
You did acknowledge to the officer that you had used previously, but you did appear to be clean and sober at the time they were talking with you. So possessing the substance, which allegedly you did when you picked up the bag, is actually a more serious charge than using it. That seems upside down. So you could plead guilty to this by acknowledging that you possessed the substance. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you again. Did anyone threaten you to get you to plead to this?
No.
All right. So let's go through this. I'm not sure that how accurate all this is, but at some point, did you come into possession of I'm not sure what this was. A bag or something with some drugs in it?
I came across the container and I opened it, knew what was there and closed it quickly and put it in my bag. That's about all I did. I didn't
Right.
realize that there was anything else
Right.
in there.
What was the container?
It was a black container and it was sitting on the bridge on the opposite side of the sidewalk, not on the sidewalk. It was on the opposite side. And I had heard somebody had lost a bag a few days prior. So for me to run across it as I'm going through my own trials of life and understanding the world around me right now, I'm very observant. I'm very new to a lot of things that I'm coming across to my self. So I kind of knew of the area, and on my way to Sturgis, I observed that and I've
All right,
seen
so
it.
how did you happen to be on the bridge on Middle Street?
I was already walking to Sturgis at that point.
You were walking
I was
through Three Rivers
walking
to Sturgis?
Yes, because I was going to see a friend who has been helping me.
And you walked across the bridge by the dairy bar?
Yep, and as I was walking across, I'm very observant. I watch my surroundings. I'm learning what the world does around me when I'm alone. I sometimes I came across weed once on the ground, so I'm very observant, and I've seen that.
Right,
And
so you
was
heard
nobody
that
around me.
somebody lost some stuff.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I'm still trying to determine what this was packaged in. You said something about a bag.
I think it was a baggie, but I don't know. I didn't actually go through the thing. I didn't do any of those drugs.
All right,
I just
well, you said it was in a container. What was the container?
a little black container. I don't know what kind of container. It was a plastic black container.
All right. And then you put that plastic container in your bag?
Yeah, because I was actually very shocked that I came across it. And I didn't have a phone or anything at the time. And as an addict, you know, my first thought isn't to throw it away, you know, but I don't want to continue to contribute to my addiction. I try to hold myself accountable for everything. And when I was presented with an opportunity to get a ride to Sturgis, I definitely didn't want the cop to find it on my person. And I definitely didn't want the drugs at all. So I gave it to the cop willingly, openly. And
right, so how did you get to Engle Road and Fairchild Road?
I walked all the way that way. That's why I was like, yeah, I kind of do want that ride from the cop.
Well, that's
I
not the way, that's not the way to stir.
What you just witnessed wasn't a dramatic courtroom showdown, it was something far more human. A young woman, 29 years old, standing at a crossroads between the life she's been living and the one she's desperately trying to build. Dominique Sierra Rosman walked into this hearing facing 2 felony charges: possession of methamphetamine, carrying up to 10 years in prison, and possession of fentanyl, punishable by up to 4 years. Together, what the judge called a recipe for disaster. But through a plea agreement, both felonies were dismissed in exchange for a single misdemeanor, use of methamphetamine, punishable by up to 1 year in jail. What made this hearing remarkable wasn't the legal maneuvering. It was the story behind the case. A woman walking back roads alone. A grandfather sitting in the gallery, quietly watching, quietly worried. A baptism the Sunday before her arrest. Counseling sessions. A caseworker named Wendy. A woman who, by her own admission, stepped back from motherhood because she didn't yet know herself well enough to be the mother her children deserved. Judge Middleton didn't rush to sentence her. He paused. He asked questions. He wanted a plan, not just a punishment. That restraint matters, because justice, when it's working the way it should, doesn't just process people, it tries to understand them. Dominique's story isn't over. It's barely begun, and what happens next Monday may shape everything that follows. If you found this case as eye-opening as we did, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more real courtroom breakdowns, because justice never gets old.